Right, so the folks over at Macatakara have given us new details regarding the iPad Air 5, and so let's delve into it. But first, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours, and with that being said, let's just duck in. Right, so Macatakara have an accuracy rating of 63%, which is pretty mixed, and so do take this information with a grain of salt. However, I do want to mention that it does not take a genius to work out the upgrades coming to the iPad Air 5, since of course, right now the cheaper Mini 6 has advantages over the Air 4, so those advantages are now coming to the iPad Air 5. And yeah, that's exactly what Macatakara says. They believe the iPad Air 5 is going to be very similar to the iPad Mini 6. And so that means we can see 3 key upgrades. The first one is of course 5G. This is the massive buzzword within tech right now, and of course Apple's shoving it into every product. And so yes, much like the iPad Mini and the iPad Pros, do expect the Air 5 to also get 5G support. However, much like the iPad Mini 6, only expect the sub-6 standards with the iPad Air 5. Millimeter wave most likely won't be coming since of course that tech is very expensive. Anyways, the next upgrade with the iPad Air 5 is of course the A15 chip. Now this should be the same A15 chip we see in the Mini 6, so that of course is going to be an underclocked version of the A15 compared to the iPhones, but with the 5-core GPU the regular 13 models miss out on. So yeah, that's a pretty nice upgrade, though to be fair the A14 we have right now is still more than fine for most consumers. Anyways, coming to the front of the iPads, of course much like the rest of the iPad range, we should finally see center stage support with a new 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera on the front. Now this is an upgrade we can definitely be sure about because of course the budget iPad has this tech now, and so for the iPad Air 5 to not get this and also be way more expensive than the budget iPad kinda makes no sense. And so yes, we can be sure this feature's coming to the iPad Air 5. Now as for the rear camera situation, there was a report in the past that did suggest we could see a dual camera array on the back, much like we have right now with the iPad Pros. However, this new report does suggest that's not going to be the case. We're going to see the same single lens camera on the back, and this honestly is not a massive issue because of course iPad cameras really are not that important. I think the only issue I have with a single camera on the back is of course when this iPad's being used with a Magic Keyboard, because it still looks pretty weird that the Magic Keyboard has a dual lens camera cutout and the iPad Air has one camera on the back. Maybe it's an OCD thing, but that does bug me, so I do hope one day we do see dual cameras on the back of the iPad Air 5. And well, those are pretty much all the upgrades Macatakara mentions in this report. Now some of you guys might be wondering about OLED, since we did have a few reports regarding that a few months ago. Well, allegedly Apple's OLED plans for the iPad Air 5 have been cancelled since their suppliers could not make the display Apple wanted. In fact, there's now reports regarding the iPad Pros getting OLED instead, and so maybe these supply chain reports were completely wrong about the iPad Air getting OLED in the first place. However, there are some upgrades I want to see the iPad Air 5 adopt that's not mentioned in this report. The first thing on my list is quad speakers. This will be a really nice upgrade. The iPad Pro speakers are absolutely amazing compared to the other iPads, and so bringing that down to at least the iPad Air 5 would be appreciated. I also do want to see 128 gigs of storage as standard on this iPad. The iPad Pros have been offering this for a while, and of course the iPhone 13 series recently made the switch, and so I do think it's about time the iPad Air follows suit. Either that or give us a $50 upgrade to 128, since it's a little annoying Apple only gives you 64 gigs or 256 gigs as the storage options right now. But then again, I'm sure Apple's making a ton of money off iCloud storage and also consumers paying the hefty premium for 256. And so yes, maybe Timothy is going to continue being greedy and keep around the 64 gigs of base storage with the iPad Air 5. But anyways, the last upgrade of sorts I do want to see with the iPad Air 5 that I'm sure we're going to see is new colours. Now I'm praying these won't be based on the iPad mini colours, I'm not a fan of those, Personally, I would love to see iPads that are just as saturated as the backs of the 24-inch iMacs. Those would look amazing. And so yes, I'm praying that's the case. By the way, Maka Takara does mention that the release should be alongside the SE3, so that does suggest we'll see this at the spring event that should take place very soon. Anyways guys, tell me in the comments below, are you excited to see this iPad Air 5? Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video in the corner above on details regarding the iPhone 14 series, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya peeps.